What's up, people, and welcome back to another episode of Real Time with Dan. It is episode 11, and you may have already noticed as soon as you started watching that the suit is gone again. Well, don't worry, it's not officially gone. I am going to be hopefully wearing it again, maybe in the next episode, but again, we will see. So, anyways, I should probably bring you up to speed because there are quite a few things that have developed in the last few days, and especially in the microphone industry. I did mention this in my last video, which, if you haven't seen that already, I'll be leaving a link to it right up in the top corner of this video right now. Anyway, so what has actually happened? Well, Rode Microphones has recently unveiled their newest brand of lavalier microphones, or I should say, their newest addition to the wireless microphone range. Because we all love the Rode Wireless Go. In fact, I'm going to quickly switch to it right now because I'm wearing one. And right now you're hearing the Rode Wireless Go microphone. No lavalier mic included, just using the onboard built-in microphone. And well, hopefully it's sounding alright. But anyways, we'll go back to this one now. So what exactly is this? Well, the new system is called the Rode Wireless Go 2. As appropriate as it sounds, I thought it'd be something more along the lines of maybe Mark II or 2.0, or maybe even like Rode Wireless Go Plus or Pro or things like that. But anyway, so what is the deal around these? Well, of course, it's two transmitters and one receiver, and of course, it has way more features than meets the eye. And let me just run over it. So first of all, it has a brand new encryption. So in other words, it basically uses the same 2.4 gigahertz transmission, but it's Series 4. And using 128-bit encryption, you're able to get crystal clear audio at up to 200 meters. That's actually a significant improvement to the Rode Wireless Go original, which was only about 80 meters, I believe. I'm not too sure, but certainly a real step up in the right direction. I do like that a lot. And also, it's meant to operate better in RF environments, which is certainly a real deal. Like, I found sometimes when I had this near a mobile phone, or even when I had it near this microphone, I found that it tended to have a bit of a phasing issue. So sometimes you may find that it doesn't interact very well with other microphones. So yes, fair to say, that's definitely a nice step up. Another feature that's built into this is it works directly to your computer, your smartphone, or your camera. So it's actually very multifunctional. Not to mention, it still has the same function as the original, which allowed you to plug it into the VideoMic NTG and use it as a wireless boom mic. Definitely a nice step up. And as well as that, it also comes with a brand new app. It basically is called Rode Central. And what this allows you to do is you're allowed to fine tune your settings as opposed to just doing it straight on the transmitter or the receiver. In most cases, it'd be the receiver. But anyway, so what do you actually get with this new app? Well, as I say, you get to fine-tune things like the gain, safety track. You also get to adjust which different functions, such as the button on the top, which allows you to adjust the brightness or the dimness of the screen, so you can save the battery life. And apart from that, I probably would say it's, this is definitely something that we've been wanting for a while, because the other companies that have really dominated this market are Deity, Synco, and Saramonic. Saramonic have really helped out with their Saramonic 500 Blink, I believe it's called, as well as the Synco G1A2. They're both very similar. They both are dual transmitter to one receiver systems, and fair to say, some people have actually said the Saramonic 500 Blink is way better than the Rode Wireless Go, because again, the Rode Wireless Go original could only be paired to, each transmitter could only be paired to one receiver, so that was a bit of a trade-off that really stuck out, and everyone just thought, well, why did bother getting the Rode Wireless Go when we can just get the Saramonic 500 Blink? To that end, I say, in some ways, that does make sense. However, now that Rode have finally answered their call, it seems they've actually managed to... There's some serious competition here. Oh yeah, and also, Holyland. Holyland is another company to consider, because they also released a new dual-channel system as well, called the Holyland Lars 150. Which incidentally also comes with its own carrying case that charges not just the transmitter but also the receiver internally, which is incredible. And I think that's definitely something that's a bit of a considering factor when looking into these microphone systems is, are you looking for individual features outside of just usability in the practical term? Like, for example, are you looking for a case that can charge up the mic systems on the go, or are you just looking for something that's small, compact, convenient, and inexpensive. In that case, probably the Cinco, but again, I probably would still skip that one. I've already had a look at reviews on it, and I definitely won't be buying any of them. But no offense to Cinco, I still love the Cinco Mic D2. I still use it as my primary shotgun microphone nowadays, including in videos where I'm normally doing a talking head video like this, but I don't want to use a dynamic mic. Anyway, so enough jibber jabber. If you're not really an audio expert, then you're dismissed anyway. In that case, there is an awful lot of competition out there for dual channel wireless systems, which are slowly beginning to make themselves more popular. And as well as that, the new system from Rode also allows you to record internally into the transmitter. So in other words, you have a backup recording. Now that's a very good idea because, think about it, wireless systems will have cutoffs. So I'm pretty sure at some point or another that this system will probably be cutting off, once or twice. It doesn't always happen, but if you're in a very heavily, if you lose line of sight, you are going to end up dropping out, or if you go too far away from the camera, again, you'll get a dropout. So fair to say, very nice to have that in case if you do start to wander off a bit and find yourself more than 200 meters away from the transmitter. But still, 200 meters away is quite the distance. Lately, I've been thinking about microphone, wireless systems, including the Rode Wireless Go, and fair to say they have their place in this world. They're definitely convenient if you need to send a signal directly to the camera, and now because of the new system being able to accept onboard recording as well, definitely a nice little trade-off. However, there is something that I've always thought about. There's now Zoom, creators of things like the Zoom F series, the H series, they recently came out with the Zoom F2, which is in turn basically a direct competitor to the Tentacle Sync Track E, similar thing, I'll come back to that, as well as the Tascam DR10L, essentially a very tiny body pack recorder that accepts lavalier microphones, essentially a nice little backup in case if all of a sudden maybe your boom mic suddenly went a bit too loud, you've always got that redundancy. But the Zoom F2, you can send that wirelessly if you had a Rode Wireless Go with you, but again, you're not going to be getting 32-bit floating point recording. And I don't think anyone's even going to know what on earth that is even referring to. Just think of it as super high resolution audio. But yes, at the moment, if they tried to make the audio coming out of the Rode Wireless Go 32-bit, I reckon that would be a bit of a struggle because again, internal memory and all that, it's not ideal. And that'd be a bit of a step too far. I reckon that would boost the price up significantly. But the Zoom F2, weirdly, of course, that's only going to be a system for recording directly too, as opposed to sending a signal off, because that sort of thing costs money. But the Zoom F2 retails for about 130 quid just for the non-Bluetooth version. The Bluetooth version is around 170, 180 around here. At least that's roughly figured. But the Rode Wireless Go 2 series is going to be priced in at around £280, which in my opinion is actually better than the original. Now here's the reason why. If you're actually out there looking for dual channel wireless system and you've only got Rode Wireless Go's, here's the thing. A Rode Wireless Go costs you around £140 straight off the bat, okay? And that's not including lavaliers. That's another 100 quid on top. So you've got two of these, that's 380. And then if you want to record those both into your camera, you have to get a device, something kind of like this. Essentially what this is, if I get it to focus in on it real quick. Essentially what that is it's basically a microphone adapter. It basically accepts two inputs and then sends both of them to the camera. Now it's not an amplifier. There are actually versions of that allow you to amplify that and then send that to your camera instead. That's just a passive mixer, but again, still a very good purchase if you've only got two Rode Wireless Go original versions. But again, that's another 40-50 quid. So again, looking at around 430 there. But once you then start to factor in all these costs, generally, if you then go for the newer ones and then just get two lavaliers, well, you only need to send one cable to the camera. So that means that in that case, well, in other words, you won't have to worry about getting splitters or anything like that or of that nature. You can just simply send that straight to the camera, configure your settings in the Rode, in that new application that I was talking about, the Rode Central app to be exact, and then do it from there. So pretty fair to say. I think Rode have definitely taken the Rode Wireless Go and then taken it to a new level. Now, will I be buying these? Probably not at the moment. I just don't see any need for them, as I've already got 2 Rode Wireless Go's. But if I had to make a purchase decision from new, then yes, 100,000,000% I'd be getting them, because there is every chance again that if I ever get a guest on this show or anywhere in general, if I start doing collaborations again, then I would. But of course, I already have 2 of those, so not really any point at the moment. But, you know, if I'm ever in the market for a cheap way of getting 2-channel audio into a camera wirelessly, then definitely have a look into it. Oh, but yes, no, fair to say, Rode have definitely impressed. Like, they always come out with good products every time. And yes, no, fair to say, they're definitely killing it. But yes, fair to say, when it comes to the consumer market, dual channel wireless systems are definitely very sought after. Professional realm, I don't think so. Very tricky to get into, and also like the complexities of it and also the size of it would probably be, that's another little bit of a consideration. Although, to be fair, Deity have done that before, and I think they've rocked it fairly well. But again, I'm not one to judge. I've only ever used Rode microphones mostly, and of course the Synco Mic D2. But again, it's worth considering. There are many microphone companies out there, and I'm sure many of them will record incredible audio. Now, I'm not exactly an audio wizard, but, you know, I do know 1 or 2 things about it. But, you know, sometimes I like to geek out about things. Anyway, so while I'm here, I'm also just going to quickly answer 2 comments that were left in the last couple of days. And one of these is actually on a video I filmed a very long time ago. It's actually my Enerzade video, believe it or not. It's from a guy called MT, so take it away. I'll be putting this on the screen, by the way. It's a pretty long one. I've said this elsewhere, but I've drunk original Lucozade for at least 5 decades until they changed the formulation. I was buying a case of 24 every couple of months and hadn't realised the change until I opened one. I'd no idea why at the time, but I tasted the difference immediately. The mouthfeel was different, and all I could taste was artificial sweetener and fizzy water. The underlying flavour, almost of barley sugar, was missing and overpowered by the metallic taste of sweetener. Since I've been ill recently, and Lucozade was always my go-to, I bought a glass bottle to try. I thought that surely they will have adjusted the flavour by now. No, not at all. It was absolutely undrinkable, and certainly doesn't have anything like the original flavour. I also bought bottles of lemon and lime and orange. Absolutely no better. I don't know how or why people can say things like it tastes just the same. It most definitely doesn't. Maybe some people are very much more sensitive to the taste of artificial sweeteners. I can't take any of them, including stevia or stevia, which tastes okay at the time, but leaves a very long lingering nasty taste in my mouth. Perhaps people's taste buds are really mangled. How they are allowed to get away with calling it original escapes me. I'd never heard of Enerzade, but I'm going to give it a go. As you say, the same happened to Iron Brew. I found an Iron Brew tonic tasted like syrup, which is fairly close, but doesn't have any caffeine, which actually suits me. MT, I do thank you very much for your comment. That was incredibly nice of you, and I do agree 100%. Of course, Lucozade were responding to basically the government's announcement of the sugar tax that was coming into play, and admittedly, not everyone appreciated it quite so much. Now, there are people that welcomed it with open arms. I didn't. However, recently, I will admit, I have been drinking a little bit of Lucozade again, but not as much as before. Before, it was almost an exclusive drink of mine. Now, it's kind of like a rare treat for myself. But again, it's not my most favourite. It's definitely been demoted from my favourite drink of all time. So, something that I'll have very occasionally, but not something as an everyday. But yes, and of course, as you say about the lemon, lime and orange, of course, they're no better either. I've tried them as well, and they are disgusting. But yes, no. So we can't exactly blame Lucozade entirely, but at the same time, it is a bit silly what they did, to be honest, and yeah, I don't think I could ever go back. Still, can't really do much about it, so anyway, so on to the next comment, which is actually, this was left on a video that was only the other day, actually, if I just find it. Here we go. So, this one says, you should get a ring light, bro. Now, first things first, I do appreciate the comment, 100 million percent. However, I've actually responded to this, but I'm going to go into a little bit more detail, or I'm going to quickly dive into why I don't use a ring light, but instead I use a circular light like this one right here. Now, generally, when you want to light a scene like in a more cinematic way, generally you want that to be a nice soft light which wraps around the face and leaves a nice simple, like a very simple shadow going across here, as you can probably see right there, and it rolls off fairly naturally. This is not the best example, but you can see what I mean. It doesn't look artificial. It looks like it's coming in from a window, which naturally would, to a viewer's eyes, it would look more natural. But if I had a ring light, another thing to bear in mind with ring lights is it may wrap around the face somewhat, but it's not quite as soft or as full as a full circle or maybe even a square. Either one would work just as well. Also, ring lights are not a big source of light. They're not very, as I say, the bigger the source of light, the softer it is, and the more natural that roll off on the face looks. And that's where it looks a lot more flattering on the face, and I just think it looks nice. And to be fair, it took me a while to learn this because my lighting has never been fantastic. I used to go for a very flat look, which means the light was probably just behind the camera, or even at more of a 10-degree angle, and now it's at more of a 45-degree angle, I find. Generally, rule of thumb is about 10 or 2 o'clock positioning is about right, in my opinion. But anyway, so yeah, another reason why ring lights are not too natural is the catch light in your eye. Now, I don't know if you'll be able to see, but if I could do a crop in, or if you can just see, there should be a round circle in my eye, which is basically the catch light coming from this light. And if that is a full circle, as opposed to a ring, you don't get a weird look in your eye, which looks a bit like you've got angelic eyes or like halo eyes. It just looks really unusual. I just find ring lights, they got their place in this world for photographers or even for people that are doing maybe product shots, but definitely not useful for a key light. Maybe for beginners, maybe I would consider it, but again, only if you're going for maybe the flat look. If you're going for a dramatic look, I definitely recommend something like this, or even a small panel light like the ones I was using before, the Viltrox L116Ts, but there are definitely other models out there that are worth looking into. I highly recommend those. But again, that's just my personal preference. Anyways, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up right here because I seem to have been waffling on for a little bit longer than I thought I would, but admittedly, I don't know, I just wanted to geek out about this one new feature or this new microphone system from Rode, and to be fair, it's pretty cool. Anyway, I'll just quickly switch back and do this outro with this mic right here. But anyways, hope you guys have enjoyed. If you did, be sure to hit the like button down below, and if you also want to see more videos, be sure you subscribe and hit the bell icon so you won't be missing any videos, and be sure to check out my socials, which will be down in the description of this video. Anyway, thank you all for watching, take great care, and I'll see you all in the next video.